Goshen, a professional astrologer from the village of Nyack in New York State, and I'm passionate about in-depth astrology and getting to the heart of the matter. In this video, I want to talk about Aries 2023 for Aries suns and Aries rising. And before I begin, I wanted to make a comment on last year's videos. Thank you for all your support. It is interesting to me that Aries was the least watched sign of all 12 signs of the zodiac by as much as 10,000 views. And the reason I raise this is simply because it points to the independent spirit of Aries. Aries, no one tells you how to think, what to do, or when to do it. You make your own decisions and you seldom reach out for advice or for help. And this is something to note and to perhaps ponder. Can you soften a little bit around the edges and take on some of your opposition sign Libra's give and take? Because this will make your courage and your competence increase when we just let down that Mars guard for a little bit. So let's see what 2023 has in store for you, Aries. Let's do a quick overview to begin. The most notable thing is that we will have that lovely Jupiter in Aries transit that began between May and November of 2022, and it's coming back into your sign from January the 1st. Jupiter will be at 1 degree of Aries. What does this mean? It simply means that expansion is favored, self-development is favored. If you have an Aries sun, Jupiter will be contacting your sun again. And if you have an Aries ascendant, Jupiter, planet of bounty and expansion, will be traveling through your first house of identity. So this means lots of opportunities for you. You don't necessarily have to take them all, but there will be a lot going on, especially in those early months of the year. March is particularly busy, Aries, so plan that way. The second half of the year is a little bit less active. The second thing of importance when we're looking at an overview for 2023 is that Saturn, the planet of structure, will be moving into your solar 12th house. So think about it in this way, that since December of 2017, you've had Saturn traveling through your house of work and your house of rewards from work or community. And now what's going to happen from March of 2023 is that the planet that offers this structure will be moving into a water sign, which is not structured, and into your 12th house, which is a place of refreshment. I like to think of the 12th house like a well where we can drink from the waters of the unconscious if we choose to. And it's also a time where we can go deeper into our own spiritual identity, our own spiritual search. It is a place where the doors are closed and we can be private. So how I view this for you, Aries, is that from March, together with all the other things that are going on, you're going to have a approximately 2-year opportunity to go a little deeper into your own self, into your own place where you can try to make sense of what has been happening and be prepared for when Saturn enters your sign fully in 2026. And there are going to be a whole lot of shifts for you in 2026, Aries. We've also got other outer planets moving into your sign. So between now and then is really a time to deepen. If you're studying something, go deeply into it to deepen your quest for greater meaning in your life. so that when 2026 comes around, you have a new way of being, a new way of evolving, and a new way of stepping into a new identity, really, because that's what's going to happen when Saturn finally leaves Pisces and enters your sign in 2026. So back to 2023 now. The third and final point I'd like to make for an overview of the year, before I go into more detail, is that Pluto, the bringer of great transformation, is also switching signs this year and will be entering your 11th solar house. And this ends a 15-year cycle of Pluto moving through your house of career, your house of parent, your house of whatever is going on in the outside world. And Pluto is now going to be visiting for an extremely long period. It will be in Aquarius until 2045 in a house which represents the rewards and the hopes and the dreams and the accolades that you have from work and also from friends and your community. It is a positive house, and we will always be called upon for something to transform when Pluto is moving through that house. I do want to point out the importance of gradualism when we are speaking about outer planets. Pluto doesn't just zip into Aquarius and stay in that house. It's going to be doing a slow dance over 2023, 2024, back and forth between Aquarius and Capricorn. And possibly the best way to think about it is that you're ending a 15-year cycle where work has been extremely empowered. Or that house, if you don't work, it could be your public standing in the community. And there will be a shift felt, but it's going to be felt over 2 years. Now that our overview is done, let's get down to a more detailed month-by-month look at 2023. So Aries, 2023 begins on a really positive note for you, because just a couple of weeks before, at the end of December, Jupiter has re-entered your sign. This is a blessing. It's bountiful. There's a feel-good energy of new identity growth, new expansion. And January 1st, Jupiter's right at the beginning of your sign. If you have a message to share with the world, it's a wonderful time to do it. As always in astrology, though, the forces are balanced, right? So you may have been under a feeling that you're not moving ahead fast enough, that things are getting in the way, that they're obstacles. In particular, since around the third week of November 2022, when your ruling planet has stationed retrograde. And all that means is that it's not as active as usual. So Mars, your ruling planet, is a little bit less able to fulfill its function. So you might have been feeling as if there are delays or you're not as productive as possible. That's absolutely fine. Maybe you are studying a new course because Mars has been in Gemini, your third house, the place of learning, since August of 2022. And that's wonderful. If you're having any challenges there, don't worry. Everything is going to clear up once Mars moves direct around January 13th of 2023. That long sojourn of Mars through your third house of communication and learning can also reflect on your siblings or on short journeys. So if you have been having issues with siblings whom you love, but there's been some kind of challenge or miscommunication, astrology suggests that it's extremely hopeful that you can clarify this and put it aside, clear the air after January 13th. The other time it could be cleared is around March, middle of March or so, when Mars really picks up speed in 2023. Then you're also going to feel the way cleared with that sibling energy or an opening. In terms of short journeys, since August 2022, you might have had to travel a lot, and then some kind of slowdown over November and December and the first part of January. But again, things start to pick up speed in mid-January, and in particular after March, it's all systems go. So because we are living in a cosmos with 7 close planets that we can see with the naked eye influencing us, and then we have 3 outer planets plus a whole lot of other bodies, we can never be sure exactly what is influencing us. And there are more influences than just astrology. So I invite you, when you listen to this forecast, to be open. If you are having a different experience, trust that, because there are always a lot of energies going on. February 20th to March 17 is a lovely positive period where Venus, planet of art, love, beauty, pleasure, will be traveling through your sign, Aries. So use that. February the 20th, it's a great day once again to get your message out, because Venus will be at a visible point in the zodiac. So if you have a small business or you want to share something with the world, that's a great day. Use it. That's when astrology can be helpful. And through that whole period, there might be opportunities to meet someone if you're single, or simply to enjoy all those things that Venus rules that I mentioned. Art in particular is favored by Venus. Music, film, beauty. So use that period, February, March, to make hay while the sun shines. There's also a whole lot of other activity in March, and this is your most important month, Aries. And it's not just because it's your birthday. So let's go through March step by step. 1st to 2nd of March, a beautiful planetary conjunction which suggests abundance and joy. Use it, plan for it, utilize the energies that are available. Make something special happen at that time. The only thing to avoid is overindulgence. So if you do have a penchant for chocolate, it is not the time to overindulge. Rather channel it into something more fruitful. March 6 is when things will really begin to move forward for you. The day after, on March 7, we have that Saturn transitioning into Pisces, which we spoke about earlier, shifting you into a phase where there's a deeper connection to yourself. So how are you going to balance those two energies? Your ruling planet, Mars, is moving forward, and Saturn, the planet of structure, is moving into a more internal place. May I suggest that you can balance both energies beautifully, going out into the world to achieve your goals, your success, while at the same time making a new structure, a new place for your own inward journey. March 21st is the first of 2 new moons in your sign. How special. So the first new moon will be as the sun moves into Aries, signifying the start of your birthday period. Happy birthday, Aries. So that new moon on March 21st is a wonderful time to prepare for the year ahead, to set your intentions, to see where you're going with 2023, and to really gather yourself, because you don't want to be making any new intentions, new changes of plans, and so on around the eclipse, which is going to be at that second new moon on April 20th. And we'll get to that in a minute. Then as we move out of that new moon energy over the next few days, there's a wonderful jovial energy coming in. So around the 27th is a very, very good time to write down. If you're a writer, it's a really good time to focus, to expand, to share, and a great time simply for things to expand. So Aries, lots going on in that March. Straight after that, at the end of March, we have that Pluto move into Aquarius. And as I said, it's gradual, but this is the first time you're going to feel that shift. So basically that whole chunk of March between, the second week in March all the way to the end of March is a very important time to initiate and to clarify your intentions. The other important energies that are happening in that last week in March is that Mars is finally leaving Gemini. So it's been in Gemini since August of 2022. You've had all that activity in that single area of your chart, and Mars will be moving into Cancer around March 26. So that could be a bit of a volatile day. I invite you, that could be the 25th, the 26th, the 27th. I invite you to lay low during those 3 days. That's not a time to be out and about. That's a time to turn towards the home and to sort out things there. Beware of anger, beware of temper tantrums. Don't let the planets rule you. That's a very sensitive time, so you want to make extra time to get to places, make time to be quiet. Then on into April, hopefully you are celebrating your birthday and all is well. There is a beautiful Sun-Jupiter conjunction around April 11th, so you're going to feel that coming to fruition a whole lot of days before, building to something beneficial, something positive. And we are working towards the eclipse. So that second new moon in Aries that we mentioned, it's going to be at 29 degrees of Aries, and it will be on April 21st. Always give a day or two on either side, depending on your time zone. What we want to do is not make rash decisions before that eclipse, or, let's say a week or two before that eclipse. Again, we prefer to lay low and to let the eclipses do their work. We don't understand their energy as we would like to, only that they produce volatile times and that their energy will only be felt for months after the eclipse has taken place. So this one will be particularly potent if you have a birthday right at the end of Aries, or if you have any planets near that 29 degree of Aries. But as always, it's better to take the more moderate view and simply keep your life as stress-free at that time. If you practice yoga or meditation, or you enjoy walking in nature, those are all positive things to do as the eclipse builds. And just think about this for a second. If there are two new moons and one is an eclipse, and they're both taking place in the same sign, which is very rare, it's telling us that there's going to be a lot of development for people with sun or rising in that sign. Self-identity, identity, recognition, growth. So be open to that. So let's move on to the month of May, which is showing me there's a lot of focus for finances to improve and to be put under the spotlight, especially the period around May 17th to 21st. There is a call for you to be mindful of your finances, in particular those you earn from work. So monies earned from work, what is happening to that money? Is it being properly saved? Is there an opportunity to expand it at this time, a potential raise, or maybe opening up to new worldwide markets? Something is calling you during May to hone in on that area of your chart. You're going to have also opportunities to be closer with your children if you have any, or to focus on creative projects and also possibly romance. So don't underestimate that. If you are looking for someone, May is a good time to put yourself out there. And speculation is favored if you are in the financial markets. Just be cautious not to go overboard, because we have an energy at that time which can cause one to be over-optimistic. Things continue on a similar vein during June. There will be more energy in the home during that time. And from around June 22nd, you normally have a 3 to 4 week period where your energy is very high, Aries. And this is great. It's great for getting things done. But also it's a very notable time when other people might find you a little bit over the top. So whatever you're doing in that time of year around June 22nd to July 18th or so, take it easy and be conscious of channeling your energy into something rather than just letting it explode, possibly in impatient behavior. The other thing that's happening in June is that once again, there's an opportunity for a financial expansion or for something out of the blue to just come in. There are two areas of your chart that are being activated. One is your house of finances, and the other is your house of creativity, of speculation, of growing your creative projects. So be mindful of that, and also be mindful if you're traveling around June 26th or so. That's a volatile time, just those couple of days. So you want to take it easy, lots of rest stops, and keeping calm as always. Mid-July, around the 11th of July until the end of August, is a wonderful time for self-care. So take a vacation at that time, plan something into your schedule. This is also a great time for a diet if any of you want to switch things up, like try a whole food diet or try a meat-free diet or try a new exercise regime, introduce yoga into your life. Anything that you want to do with self-care and self-improvement is favored in that time after July 11th. The other thing you might find yourself doing around July or August is meeting up with people that you haven't seen for a very long time. And this is because there is an opening in that area of your life. Even to meet people that you feel like you've known before, although you haven't. So be open to that, Aries. And around July 20th, 19th, 21st, just a heads up that there might be some delays or frustrations during that week. So relax, there's nothing you can do about it. Sometimes those delays are working to your advantage in the long run, so make your peace with them. The third week in August, take particularly good care of your health. You might want to visit a health farm or go on a retreat at that time, or just use the energy to do your own cleanse or something specially focused on you. Then, as August comes to a close, there's a shift into the area of relationships for you, Aries. So good energy coming into that area, energy to be activated, and an opportunity to work on your long-term relationship if you're in one. If you're not in a long-term relationship, maybe you have an ex-partner, this is a good time to thrash things out with them, to clear the air, and to extend that hand of friendship. The past is the past, and we don't want to die with any regrets. So clear the air, clear the karma, and use September to work on any relationship stuff that you might feel has been shoved under the carpet with all the busyness that has been happening in the year to date. The only other thing to note in September will be the beautiful full moon on September 29th, which is a full moon in your sign, Aries. So it's your full moon. It brings to fruition all the things that you have been working on since those 2 new moons in March and April. So consolidate then and reflect. How are you going to finish up the year? In October, there are 2 things of note, Aries, and they both occur around the 13th or 14th of the month. So first of all, your ruling planet moves into a very strong sign, the other sign it rules, Scorpio, and it's in a place in your chart which has to do with going deep into things. So if you're studying astrology, psychology, art, finance, anything that you're studying, this is your month or 2 to go deeply into that. It's a great time to go for therapy or counseling if you need it for yourself or for your relationship. And it's a wonderful time to also manage joint finances. If you do have a joint tax return, joint finances, joint business, or even things to thrash out with an ex-partner, that seems to be on the cards for October going into November. The other thing of note is there will be a solar eclipse in Libra at that time. So that is going to be in your house of partnerships. That could be business partnerships or marriage or permanent partner. So pay attention to that. Something needs to come to the light, and you want to be in top shape also so that you can support your partner at that time if they need you, or you can be prepared to be patient. If things come to light and they seem pressing, don't act on them before that eclipse, only act on them after that eclipse. So that would be after the 17th or 18th of October. You want to give the eclipse time to unwind on its own volition. So we're winding down towards the end of 2023. November looks to have some beautiful energy for you, Aries. You will have Venus, the planet of love and relationships, moving into your relationship house in mid-November. So pay that some attention. If you're looking for someone, again, another very good time to be out and about or to be seeking. And it doesn't only reflect on romantic love. This can be love for everything. It can be putting yourself out there to the world with a positive attitude, feeling good as November gets underway. The other thing of note in November is that your ruling planet will be moving into a house which represents expansion once again, travel, possibly traveling to another state or traveling to another country. This is favored particularly after November 25th. And you'll have that energy activated all the way until January of 2024. So if you are planning a trip to loved ones, it's a great window to do that between the end of November and around the 5th of January. It's also a wonderful time to broaden your mind. If you can't get out and about, if you're stuck at home, if travel's not on the cards for you, read something new, study something new, expand your mind. Philosophy is all about this area of your chart that's being activated as the year comes to an end. And finally, December, as it gets underway, there's still a lot of energy. You're traveling, you're studying, you're working, you're doing your thing. And then around the 21st of December, you might feel an energy shift where you suddenly want to turn a little bit more inwards. Your energy's a little bit lower, or you need some time to consolidate. Honor that and respect it. And as 2024 gets underway, allow yourself a few days to relax into the year before you begin working with huge emphasis. The year only really begins for you around January 5th, when your ruling planet switches signs again and you're fully geared for work, Aries. So I wish you all the very best for 2023. I invite you to like and subscribe if you found anything in this video useful, and I really enjoyed making it for you. Have a wonderful, wonderful year, Aries. Until next time.